Hello everyone, welcome back to this video. So this video will going to be very interesting. So in previous two video we have learned how to set up OAuth authorization servers using Spring Boot, and also we have learned how to connect JWK sources instead of using in memories. And in last video we had almost very good authorization servers. Only one thing was left. So in previous video, if you see, like we were using in memory JWK sources. So basically when we generate RSA public key and private key, so those key were only inside our application, so like in memories. So just assume like if our server is crashed, if we need to start our instance again, then all the tokens we have previously issued, all those tokens will going to be invalid, because our application has started and all those RSA private key and public key will going to be regenerated again. So we need some solution also, and this is the one issue. And the second issue is this. So just assume like if we have more load or something, then we need to scale up our applications. So during scale up, every instance will going to has its own separate RSA key pairs, but we need to share those RSA key, because just assume if one instance is issue access token, then other instance should able to validate the token. So in this video we will going to fix that issue. So I already explained everything. So if you are new and you just came up to this video, I really encourage you to please watch our previous video, and I will going to put a GitHub link in description, so you can just check out and you can also follow with the same video. So if we see, like when we created the bean4 OAuth2 token generator, so token generators was using a Limbus JWT encoder. So we just created manually one object of a Nimbus JWT encoders, and we just passes our JWK source. So now in this video we will going to work on these three components. So now let's start how we can extend this JWK source, so that we can able to used our basically if we want to use like a JDBC, we can use that and we can store in our Postgres database like in previous video we used. And also if we want to store this in some Redis or some files, then we can also do that. I will going to explain in this video. So let's start. So let's open the code base. So now if I explain you again, so yeah, so this is our token generator. So inside this token generator, if you observe, so this was the issue, right? So here we have everything inside in memory. So if we go inside JKS source, so here we are creating a public key and private key, and we are storing inside in memory. So every time we start the applications, this key will going to be changed. We need a particular solution. So there can be a one solutions also, like instead of creating a key pair here, we can get these key pairs as an environment variable. Like we just create these private key using a key tool SSA commands. I will share that commands also, and we can put those file link inside a configuration file, and we can inject here those properties. But this solution still has one more issue. Like if we want to rotate our RSA keys with the time to time, then we will not able to do that. It will going to be like a static. Every time we want to change, we need to stop the servers, we need to change those file and restart. And with this approach, all the previous like we have created, those will not going to be supported, those access token. But we need some solution. With the time we can create a new key, and all new access token will going to use the new create key, a new key pairs, and all the previous access token we have issue, those access token is still able to use our resource server. So we need this type of a solution. So let's start. So I hope it's clear for you, like having inside a class path those private key and public key is not that much extendable solution, but it is also a good. So how we will going to solve this approach? So let me explain you. So let's go here. So if you see here, like this is immutable JWK set. So it is extending this JWK source. So if we go inside this source, so if we see the implementation of this source, there is no implementation provided for like a connecting, like if you recall, like a client we had JDBC implementation, but in this case we don't have any implementation, but we can create our own also. So let's do how we will going to create. So inside this interface abc, we have only one function, this get. So we need to only support this get function. We will going to have a jwk selector. Using this selector we will able to access the key id, and with that key id we will able to get, okay, this is the key that access token was created. Now let's use that key for verifying. So this is one thing we need to change. And also if we see here, like when we will going to store all this information inside a database, and once we going to fetch this database, we can prepare our jwk set like this. So here if we open this jwk set, so if you see, we can initialize this jwk set using one key also, and if we wants to initialize with a list of a key, we can also do that. So we will going to follow this approach. We will going to have a list of a key. So with the time to time we will going to add new keys, and previous key will going to be like unused, because we will always going to the latest key. So how we will going to verify which key is latest? So we will going to attach the creation time for every key, and we will going to utilize that. So now let's see. So now let's close other tab. So let's open. So I hope it's clear for you. So first things, let's create a interface. So we will going to start from this things first. Okay, so basically I will going to create one repository interface, so that repository only will going to have some functionality. So if you see here, this jwk sets need this list of keys, right? So only these things we will going to store somewhere in our database. Once we have these things from our database, after that creating the object of this JWK source is not a big deal. It's a very simple. Okay, so let's start from this. So I hope it's clear for you. First we will going to approach these things only, highlighted one. So let's create. So inside this repository, so we will going to have a one interface, RSA. Okay, so inside this interface we will going to have only two function. So first we will going to return some things, and we don't know, like I will explain to you how, what type of object we will going to define. So it will going to have a one function, find all key. When we going to call it, it will going to return all the keys. And after that we will going to have one function. So this function will going to receive some arguments. I will going to explain. So now we need one model. That model will going to carry our RSA key. So let's create one more package, name this as a model. So inside this package we will going to create one record and name this as a RSA key pair. Okay, so inside this we only need id for identify uniquely our RSA key, and after that we need RSA private key, and after that we need a RSA public key. So you are thinking like it will not going to extends to other type of a key. It is like a one-to-one, only for RSA key it will going to be work. And along with this we can also store a creation date. So this is all we need. So after creating this, so we can come here. So it will going to return our RSA key pair, straightforward. And when we going to create a new RSA key pair, so we need a RSA key pair, and after that this function will going to do the work. Okay, So now let's start with IMPL. So first we will going to start with the in-memory IMPL, and after that it will very easy. Like in memory, we will going to store in memory hash map most probably. So you can just store that hash map inside a data source also. If you need explanation on that, I will just put a comment. So I will make another video also. Okay, let's see first what I am seeing. Maybe you are confused. So let's create a in-memory RSA key. So it will going to implement RSA repository. Okay. So here we have two functions. So now let's create one hash map, and it will going to use a key like a RSA key ID, and after that we will going to store RSA key pair. Okay, and here we can name this as our store. This is all. So from here, from this functions, we need to return all the keys. So whatever we have inside this, we can return everything. So stores dot, and one more things also here. So inside this hash map, we need to return the value. But one more things here, just assume we will going to return all those keys. So when we going to receive the request, so like a latest key which we wants to used and which we wants to use, that key need to be on the top list. So okay, let me again try to explain the same. So just assume like we have a one key inside this our store, and now we want to rotate the key, so we will going to add the new key. So just assume when we are returning from here, so if we don't put that key at the 0 index, so that will not going to be used. So we need to sort this array also. So now let's see, and also I will going to explain these things like when we going to use at that time. So here we can sort using creation date. Okay, so after that let's collect to string. This is all, and inside the save it will going to be very simple. So stores dot put, and we will going to have a RSA key dot id, and corresponding this we can store everything straightforward. So now we have one class here. If you see, we can extend this for JDBC also, but let's understand first this thing. Here we have only two functions, find all key and save. So when we going to invoke this, it will going to return everything whatever we have, and when we going to invoke shape, it will going to store the new key. So it's a very simple. There is nothing like very complex or something. So now let's move further. So let's go inside here. So inside here, if you see like we need one instance of this type, JWK Source. Okay, so inside the configs, let's create a new class and name this as RSA JWK Source. Simple, yeah. And it will going to be implement this JWK Source, and now let's implement this function. So this has only one function. So here we need to return all the JWKs whatever we have. So internally Spring Boot will going to be handles everything. So let's register this as component. Okay, and also please register this also as component, because we need a bin of all these classes. Okay, so from the resources, if you see like it's very simple. So inside these resources we need access over our all the RSA key. So which is how we will going to get all those RSA key. We have already like a repository, so we just need to use our repository, RSA key repository, and inside this repository we have a function. find all. With that, by using that find all, we will able to get all the keys like whatever we have. So now here, so we will going to use like RSA key, sorry, dot find all. So now we have all the keys here. So after getting these all key, we just need to prepare that list of a JWKS. Okay, and preparing the list of a JWKS is very simple. So now I will show you. So basically we need to prepare these things only. We already have this public key in our key pair, we have private key, right? And we only need these things. So now let's copy this logic, this, and let's go here, and here we will going to say keys dot streams dot, and for every RSA key pair we need to return a JWK. Okay, so we will going to use a map. So now we have this key. Okay, so inside this RSA key I have everything. So I need to return a RSA key instance corresponding to our RSA key pair, the models which we have created for this thing. So I have these things, and I need to create the instance of this RSA key pair. I'm again explaining the same thing just to clear you. Okay, so from here I can write something like that, and this key will going to give me this RSA public key, and from here I will going to use RSA private key, and this ID will going to be come from ID. Okay, and after that, after creating this, we can collect this as a list. So this is all we need to create. So I hope it's clear for you. So from here, if you see, when we implement this JWK source, which is coming from Spring Boot OAuth authorization server dependency, so here, like once we in our repository we see we have created a custom RSA key pair. So we just need to create here JWK source corresponding to every key pair whatever we have. So this is how we can going to create it, just like a copy paste from here. So now we have JWK source. So now let's configure all those things. I hope it's clear for you. So now if we see this bean, we don't need it because now we have our JWK source, we can inject that bean, and this generate RSA key will not going to be used, but during initting the initial RSA key we will going to use that. And it's up to you, you can expose one endpoint and just expose one endpoints. So whenever we will going to hit that endpoints, and you can initialize a new key, something like that, we can also do that. I will show you. You can just put a comments in a video and let me know that if you need. So now let's remove this. Okay, so here, okay, so I don't need Nimbus JWT encoder like this. We can create a win that will be like a more clear. So Nimbus, okay, and for creating this Nimbus we need a dish JWK source. Okay, and we can inject this, and for this JWK source we already created our JWK source. Sorry, here if you see, this is the components we already created. So Spring will going to inject our JWK source here, and we can pass the same. And now let's create a win here. And now we need here our Nimbus JWT encoder. So if we go inside JWT encoder, it's the implementation of JWT encoder, Nimbus JWT encoder. So let's inject this JWT encoders, and now we can pass this here. Okay, and one more things also. So from here if we see, we were calling something like that, so now we don't need to call like this, because if you see here, like our this yeah, this token generator is already registered as a bean. And now if we go inside a decoder, so let me show you. Yes, JWT decoder. So if you see, so this decoder will also going to receive the same instance of JWK source which we have created, and here it will going to have access everything. So here they are just using JWK selector, they are just fetching corresponding RSA key, and they will going to use that same key for verifying. So it will going to be work as it is. I think this is all we need to do. Yeah, this is all. So now let's do one more thing also. So inside init data, so here let's inject our RSA key repository, because we need to add an initial key, otherwise it will not going to be work. So here we will going to use this find all dot is empty. If it is empty, then we will going to create a new dot shape, and here we need a RSA key. So we will going to use this logic. Let's copy this generator, and so inside this save, if we need a RSA key pair. So now let's create RSA key pair, and we need to pass here ID, private key, and public key. Okay, so we can get from get sorry, first we need to pass ID. So and after that we need to pass private key, public key, and after that we can pass the time. Why it's creating a problem? Private key and then public key. Okay, we need to typecast. Yeah, so this is all. So now we can start our server. So if you are new to this video, so we have Flyme. So you need to spin up a Postgre, and you can see the name of our database. This database should be exist in your Postgre. After that you can start the Spring Boot server. Okay, so it's started. So now we can do one thing. So if you new inside the help, not so help readme, yes, so inside the readme you can find out all the calls for creating a codes and for creating a tokens. The similar things I will going to use from here. So this is the call for creating the code. So now we can use and enter. So it will going to ask for the username and password. So we have user and we have password. Enter, and it will going to give us this code. So now let's get this code, and inside a token, so we need to go inside a body, and now let's remove this token and paste it here. And now if I issue this request, I will going to have the token. And one more things also, there is one more endpoint. So localhost dot well known this, yeah, so this is the endpoint. So you can hit that endpoint. So here you will going to have all the information. So here we have this endpoint for fetching all the JWKS RSA key whatever we have created inside our endpoints. So let's hit that. So now if you see, this is the key we have in our store. So I hope you like this video. So it's very good. Like now you just now if you see our interface, okay, so you can create one implementation for this interface, which implementation will going to store this RSA key pair inside a database, and you can fetch from the database. It's a straightforward, there is nothing. If you found out like still you need a video on the same things, you can just put a comments. I will create one more video. Most probably the next video we will going to create how we will going to spin up, we will going to integrate the dockers, and we will going to spin up multiple instance of this our applications, and we will going to run in Kubernetes, and after that we will see how it's behave. So I hope it's you like this video, and please if you like this the content, if you find out useful, please do consider for subscription also. Thank you.